Hey folks, welcome to another Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts video. Before we get into the scenario, I want to recommend a book. I figure that if you're here watching this, you're interested in the period. And a book that I absolutely love is called Castles of Steel. I'll find a picture, stick a picture up. Castles of Steel by Robert K Massie. And it's a book about the German and British navies during the Great War at Sea, and it discusses the people involved, some of the admirals and captains, a lot of the ships and the vessels, and it covers a whole range of, well, supposedly all of the major and semi-major engagements during the war. So you've got like the Battle of Coronel, the Battle of the Falklands, you've got the German raids in Yarmouth and Scarborough, it covers the Dardanelles and Gallipoli, and obviously the likes of Dogger Bank and Jutland as well. It's a really good book. I recommend having a look at it if you're interested. Okay, and that being said, in the last video there were a few comments relating to the German East Asia Squadron and commerce raiding and that sort of thing, and it made me want to try another approach at the Destroying the Unprotected Convoy mission. So the German East Asia Squadron, at the start of the Great War, one of the ships, SMS, which stands for His Majesty's Ship, the SMS Emden, split off from the squadron and went into the Indian Ocean and sunk something like 29 ships in just a few months before it was eventually put out of action itself. But the rest of the squadron tried to sail from I think they were in the Marianas to start with, somewhere around the Marianas, and they tried to sail across the Pacific, round the Cape, and the plan was to sail up through the Atlantic back in towards German waters. And that squadron fought at the Battle of Coronel, where it defeated the British, sunk a couple of cruisers. So anyway, what I wanted to try in this scenario was to get a couple of the ships from the East Asia Squadron, which would have been the heavy cruisers, the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, and recreate them if I could. So I've had a go at that. The rest of the squadron was made up of 3 light cruisers. I think it was the Dresden, the Leipzig and the Nuremberg or something like that, but we can only create one type of ship in the scenarios at the moment. So I've gone with the 2 heavy cruisers. Well, actually we've got 3, we'll just live with that, I suppose. So recreating the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, displacement of 13,000 tonnes, 22.5 knots speed, giving it very long range obviously for East Asia Squadron trying to get back to the Atlantic. Bulkheads I've got too few simply because it goes overweight if we have any more bulkheads. We've got triple expansion steam engine, natural boilers, coal fuel, Krupp armour, which I believe was accurate. And in terms of our armament, the Scharnhorst and Gneisenau had 8 8-inch guns, but we can't get 8 on this hull. It had 6... Was it 6? Yeah, 6-inch guns. But again, on this hull, we can only get... we can't get secondary guns. We can only get casemates and 5 inches the maximum. So I've gone for 6 5-inch guns. And it had, I believe, 18 3.5-inch guns. Unfortunately, I can't get 18 3.5-inch guns. The maximum I can get on this hull is 6. But I can get the 4 underwater torpedo tubes. So we've got 1 in the bow, 2 midships, and 1 in the stern. And again, I believe that's accurate to the original ships. So I've recreated it as accurately as I can. Admittedly, I've not spent a lot of time. I was quite keen to get into the scenario and try it out, so I might be able to do more or get something a bit more accurate, but I'll do that in my own time. So let's just jump in here. As I said, we're going to get 3 cruisers. We can't do anything about that. It builds the maximum you can afford, essentially. So I would have to get the cost up over 12 grand to limit it to 2, and that's just not possible. So I think that's everything to be said. Let's jump in. I suppose having the 3 ships makes up for the lack of guns. Okay, before spot smoke off to the north. So let's just go with normal, actually. Normal for the torpedoes. I'm going to go with save on the torpedoes for all 3 ships. And I'm going to just leave them as a division rather than split any off. I suppose I could split off with 1 ship and leave it behind, but to hell with that. I'm just going to fight the 3 of them. Okay, so normally doesn't take too long to actually get visual on these ships, but we'll go up to speed 5 just until we get there. I suppose I'm only doing 11 knots. Let's go back up to flank speed, and we'll bring the speed down again once we get into combat. There we go. Ranging shots off already. Okay, so I think this time out we are going to just charge right into the middle of the fleet, get into close quarters, and then we'll launch barrages and torpedoes and see if we can't destroy all of these 8 ships. I suppose what I would prefer is not have everyone concentrate on the one target. Okay, so they're going to concentrate on one target regardless. Okay, I did honestly expect that if we were in line and we're up against some sort of enemy fleet, that the classic engage your opposite number would have been in effect. So I am going to, after all, detach ships. We'll have 3 divisions, and that way you can each select a different target. I need to head up here. You just head up there, and you head up there. Okay. What sort of range are we at? 4.5 kilometres. We need to close the distance. And which ship on here? Doesn't seem. Oh, it does. Yeah. It borders the ships that you have selected. So what do we have up here? Minimal damage there. Not very much. Something I'm paying more attention to this time out will be the bulkhead situation. Once we've got full identification. Because if we've got many bulkheads, then obviously we need to just make sure of them, rather than presume that the fire or the flooding will do them. Let's change bearing a bit to try and get a bit more of a broadside off on them. There's obviously a high volume of fire being sent up downrange. But I think I need more. Rear guns can't bear. And the furthest targets, yours potentially could. I think that's what we'll do. We'll switch bearing there. And your guns are trained to starboard as well, so you can target that ship. Head for that gap, and that'll open up your arc of fire. I think you do the same. We'll start heading for the ships that we have already damaged. Range to target, still over 4 kilometres there. We've got 3 kilometres. So that's probably good enough. Let's go down to slow. Now it's playing this scenario, in fact you can see it now, some of these ships, although they're unprotected, they're not unarmed. And if you're going up against them in a battle cruiser, then 4-inch guns aren't too much of a worry. We've got 4-inch and 3-inch, 3-inch and 2-inch. But there's a fairly good chance they can set fires. So, a long way to go before we sink any of these guys. But then we'll soon be in range to launch torpedoes. Now there's a question. Do I have to switch? I will probably have to switch targets once I activate the torpedoes. Better to do it on the safe side and do that. Okay, good structural damage going there, plenty of fires. Yeah, some hits from the 8-inch guns there obviously helped that. I keep thinking these are other ships. Back to out the corner now. So that one probably won't last too much longer. But the question is, I mean, we're almost down to half length of the scenario done already. What's are we here? Do you know, I think you target them and let's get torpedo off. Taking a fair bit of damage to our funnels. Not overly confident yet. And you're still firing straight ahead. Oh well, you're doing good damage at some points anyway. Suicide mission here, let's target them. Torpedo hasn't launched yet, so I'd imagine that if we get broadside on. In fact, let's speed you up a bit because I don't want a head-on shot when you do launch. Looks like that's what I'm going to get. Torpedo's launched, so let's put you back into save. There it goes. Good hit. fire on our ship as well though. That was some broadside. I don't have a huge amount of flooding. Fire could do more damage though. So if you continue up there. Other ships. I need you to slow down again. Back to slow. Put you up to full speed. And you as well, just to close the range a bit quickly. This ship here, mostly structural damage, but we'd keep concentrating our fire on them and rely on torpedoes to get us a good hit on one of the other targets once we've reloaded. Fire board again. Flooding's doing a lot better now. Well, it depends on your perspective, I suppose. I'm not paying enough attention to these other ships then. Good, you finally sink. Could you concentrate on Goldsboro now? And you, out here, yeah, that's going to be done soon. Focus on them, on that ship. And yeah, you keep targeting them for now. Try and knock them out. Up here. Okay, torpedoes. Let's get you back in normal. Might need it for that ship. But can you start heading up there and put torpedoes on for you as well. Head there. Keep shooting that one just now. Can't believe you're still afloat. I think I want you now to swing around there because you're going to have to track this one. Our torpedoes will be launched, I had noticed that, that's good. To full speed. Good hit. And that should be the end of it, I think. Yeah, so you are going to head round here. That's done. Target them. Okay, so you're heading up. You'll be going after these ships. That'll also be done soon. You've launched, good. Would you head up that general direction? And I think we'll put you back to save. I don't want you shooting or launching a torpedo too soon. This torpedo's going to destroy that ship. Can you target the Stringham? See the structure that's got left it now, it's a waste of a torpedo. Who's sinking? Oh, this one's sinking. James E. Williams. That's gone as well. That's almost gone. So you focus now on the Fuller. 2 ships sinking there. You make sure the Stringham doesn't survive. Over here. 30 float. That could go. Buoyancy is still dropping, and that's bound to finish them off. Don't know if I've shown this before, we can't actually see so well here, but when the ship sinks you do get sort of debris like lifeboats, you get oil slicks, etc. Visually pleasing game. 2% float. Down to 1. That should go soon. So yeah, let's have you swing around now. And you're going to target the Herbert J. Thomas. Fuller's going. So you're going to target the Herbert J. Thomas as well, and we'll bring you down to slow. What are you doing here? Let's put you on to... Well, actually, you've just launched. Yeah, there it is. So the Stringham will be gone soon enough. And we'll bring you back over. The Stringham's gone. Let's bring all the ships together. There we go. Back into the 1 division. And go back into line ahead. And finish off this last ship. That is the last one, isn't it? Sinking. Yeah. Okay, I'm just looking at where these ships are now heading to try and get into formation. Another torpedo away here. Yeah, so 3 armoured cruisers of this type. No problem at all destroying 8 merchant ships. Well, saying that, we've only got a minute left. Damn it, this torpedo's going to miss as well. I need you all to be as accurate as possible. "40 seconds. Yeah. Float is dropping. I just need a few more good hits. Make sure that the float continues to drop, or that structure goes down, or the fire knocks it out. It looks like it's going to hang on. 10 seconds. See if we need a 15-inch broadside to wipe it out. Survived. Damn it! Okay. I'm not going to retry it just now, but I will be trying that again. Okay, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed that different take on the undefended convoy attack. Please leave me a comment, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and do take a look at Castles of Steel if you can get your hands on it. And I hope to see you again next time. Cheers.